Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast by a couple of friends that love Formula One. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your Duracell Bunny host, Luigi. And today we're rating drivers from 1973 for our special series, the Time Portal Championship. So let's go.
Oh, Louis, that was a bit, like you stumbled over the word special. But anyway.
Do we start again or we just do it?
Let's keep going. Okay, And today we have Dan with us. Hello, Dan.
Hi, Luigi. Hi, Rosa.
How are you?
Well, thanks. Good to be here. Thanks for the invite.
You've come back. Yes, you've come back. Is this like your second or third one?
This is a big comeback 21 years later, I think. Was I 1952? I was 1952 last time.
I think you might have been 52. Yes, let me just check
Massive comeback.
21 years. Wow, that's longevity.
And we chose you, Dan, for this one because it's a special year for you.
It is a very special year. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It might be the year I was born, or it might be some other reason.
You were 51, Dan. So it's 22 years.
I was 51, was I?
Yeah,
we recorded that quite a long time ago.
Yes, we did.
I actually forgot how to set everything up for this podcast. That's how long ago it was.
Oh, funny. Okay.
And Luigi, Duracell Bunny, come on, yes. What's that?
Well, I discovered a bit of a wormhole story here because Duracell Bunny came into existence in 1973.
Right.
And many of us of an age will know the Duracell Bunny from famous TV commercials.
Yeah.
Some of you might be confused because in the 80s, there was an Energizer Bunny.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And there was a big trademark battle between Duracell and Energizer because Energizer's bunny was like mocking of the Duracell bunny. And yeah.
As in my bunny is better than your bunny? Is that what you're meaning?
I don't quite know. I didn't dig that deep into it other than to see that now that there's certain countries can have the Duracell bunny and certain countries can have the Energizer bunny. And that's where they landed on the whole bloody thing.
That makes the Energizer bunny ad even more hilarious, knowing that they were taking, having a bit of a laugh out of the Duracell bunny. Yeah, I have much more appreciation for that ad now.
Or just passing off as the Duracell bunny, I think, more
that's
likely.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
And these are all about battery powers, and we have battery power in Formula One in 2025.
Yeah, and we do have some
the link.
sponsorship wars going on, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so if Duracell or Energizer want to sponsor us, this is their opportunity for us to take a side.
Doesn't Duracell sponsor Williams? Isn't there a battery on their air intake? Isn't that a Duracell battery on Williams now in today's F1?
That would be very observant if you were right on that, Rosa.
Yeah.
I believe I would be right on that, Dan.
Yes. I don't doubt it. Hardcore F1 fan that you are.
Yes, I'm observant anyway. All right, so shall we get started, Louis? Are we going to alternate these race reviews? Do you want to tell everyone what we're doing quickly?
Yeah, you're doing the odd and I'm doing the even. So basically, this is a short recap of each Formula One race. And what we do is the full race review has the full detail version, and this is the short, fast version, just to remind us briefly of the race. And then we will each of us independently do a recap of our top three, third, second, first, and why. And sometimes we may critique each other's evaluations. And we invariably give first place 8 points, second place 6, and third place 4 on the basis that this becomes what we call the real championship result, not what actually happened. Reason being that we eliminate things like, oh, that's bad luck that someone retired in the last lap because XYZ happened. We still give them the win potentially.
We right some wrongs, perhaps.
That's right.
Sounds good.
All right. So I'll get started with race 1 then.
Okay.
We're in Argentina, and Regazzoni, in his, I think, first race for BRM, qualified on pole position ahead of reigning champion Fittipaldi, who's in the Lotus, and Ickx in the Ferrari. But on Sunday, race day, it was 6 starting Stewart in the Tyrrell that snatched the lead even before the first corner. before being passed by Regazzoni later in the lap. So very short-lived lead there for poor old Stewart. For the first quarter of the race, 5 drivers formed a tight leading pack. Regazzoni, Stewart, Fittipaldi, New Lotus driver Ronnie Peterson and 71 champion Jackie Stewart. But then, with his Firestone tyres overheating, Regazzoni fell back to 5th, while Stewart's conservative start allowed him to get up to 2nd place. Going into the tail end of the race, Fittipaldi overtook Stewart, much to the joy of the South American fans, and set a new lap record in his chase for Stewart. After 50 laps, Fittipaldi, with a brave late-braking manoeuvre, took the lead, with Stewart finishing 5 seconds behind in 2nd place. Stewart came home in 3rd. Over to you, Dan.
Well, I've basically got a free pass going first, don't I?
You go first all the time.
Okay. I've chosen Stewart for 3rd place. I thought he did a solid race. It was actually sounds like a fairly straightforward race, a bit of action, but he did a solid job. 2nd, I've put Stewart. It sounds French. Is he French?
It is French, yes. Yes, he's French.
Stewart, probably.
Stewart, yes.
Stewart.
Very good.
And look, I gave him 2nd because he had a fantastic start and he also did a solid race. But Fittipaldi, I felt he had to get 1st place. It looked like a pretty inspired drive overall. And that late pass for the lead. I mean, we all love a late braking manoeuvre to take the lead.
Yes.
All race fans just, there's not much that's better than that. So I had to give him the 8 points for the top position.
Yeah, I think that's a good solid start to your TP 22-year comeback, Dan. Very good.
And I call it a safe predictions.
Oh no.
It's the podium.
Let's see what you've done then.
Yeah, where's your individuality, Dan? Where's your
This is race 1. This is race
exactly.
1.
No, they're reasonable picks, and mine are not too dissimilar, but just a little bit of shuffling. I had Regazzoni in 3rd place.
What?
And I admit it's weird because he got pole position, and I like how he basically said "stuff you" to his former team because I'm pretty sure Ferrari let him go. I don't think he would have left.
Okay.
And how good is that? He led early on and he got pole position. Talk about sending a message to his former team because he's now in, is he in BRM?
Yes.
Yeah, and I wouldn't exactly call BRM a winning team.
He lost the lead during the first lap.
Yeah, but he got pole. I had Fittipaldi in 2nd place. He did a great job and he had to win this against someone who was driving one of the best drives of their life. So Stewart was really outperforming his the talent of himself and the car. And he even started 6th and had the lead at the first corner. So really good result by Fittipaldi.
And yet you've put him 2nd.
I put him 2nd because I felt with Stewart, he was the number 2. He was a number 2 driver because Stewart was his teammate and he was taking it up to the number 1s, as in Stewart and Fittipaldi, and he was doing so well and he nearly won the race. He had the lead with not many laps to go. And I'm saying he outperformed himself, which is why I've put him at number 1. And he's French.
Well, he outperformed the car.
Yeah, he outperformed the car and himself. Like, it's just one of those days.
No, he didn't outperform the car. He's in the best car on the grid.
No, 70. This is 73, right? 72 was won by Lotus with Fittipaldi.
Tyrrell's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He beat Stewart.
I just don't understand how you've given the winner of the race 2nd place.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You take that one on notice, will you?
I'll take it on notice, yes, thank you.
And you didn't give Stewart any points. You gave your favourite driver in this era. You didn't give him any points.
I didn't think this was his race. This was not his race. His time will come, don't worry.
Well, I did say that Dan had some very excellent picks because I've got the exact same as Dan. So I've got, Stewart measured, Stewart great star. And look, I do take the point. He was leading for 50 laps, really, wasn't he? Is that what we're saying?
Most of the laps,
for most of the race. So that's a great race by him. But Fittipaldi, that overtaking manoeuvre, like Dan said, late braking manoeuvre right at the end to take the lead, that's what racing's all about. So I gave it to Fittipaldi.
Okay.
So after race 1, we've got Fittipaldi on 22, Stewart on 20 and Stewart on 8.
Okay, so now we're up to race 2. So this is the Brazilian Grand Prix and the first ever Brazilian Grand Prix too. So Team Lotus dominated practice and qualified 1-2, but it was actually Peterson ahead of Fittipaldi. Ick started next to them in third, and he's in the Ferrari, correct?
Yes.
He is. The Tyrrells of Stewart and Stewart could only manage 8th and 9th, respectively. At the start, however, Stewart jumped up to third behind Fittipaldi, and another local hero with a good start was Carlos Pache. He actually charged up to second, if I recall correctly, so he had a Brazilian first and second briefly.
Yeah, he's in the Surtees as well.
Yeah, that's right. Not even I would call the Surtees like an Alpine of today, perhaps.
Yes.
Peterson fell back to fourth, and then on lap 6 had a crash due to a high right rear wheel collapsing. Pache then retired with suspension damage. Fittipaldi finished with a comfortable lead over Stewart. McLaren driver Holm finished a surprise third. So Fittipaldi wins the very first Brazilian Grand Prix. Over to you, Dan, for your top 3 and why.
Well, in third, I gave it to Holm. Is that the right pronunciation? Holm? Yeah. Well, I think he just deserves credit for getting a podium. I mean, look, we all love a podium. Drivers love a podium. If you get one, then there needs to be a good reason not to get some credit for it. In second, I gave it to Stewart. I feel like he got all the performance out of that car, and he drove more or less what we would expect of the great Jackie Stewart. And Fittipaldi, now he was winning at home, wasn't he?
Yes.
This was his home race.
Yes.
First ever.
Yeah. I mean, look, anytime you win at your home race, I mean, that has got to be the absolute, best thing of that race weekend, barring some other miracle. So, yeah, no, Fittipaldi definitely deserved the top spot for me.
Okay. I had exactly the same top 3, actually. But I said it in a less positive way. I said Holm finished third, boring race for him. Stewart finished second, boring race for him. But Fittipaldi dominated through and through, wins the first ever race, and dealt with the pressure of the home crowd. Because, it's not only a joyous thing, but the expectation. Defending world champion, all that sort of stuff. And he won it. And the expectation would have been massive. So good on him. And I thought, Holm, that's pretty good coming third. But then I realized he qualified 5th. So he's not like he did a big comeback drive. So, yeah.
No. Yeah, I had pretty much the same, but I had Merzario in third place. I thought he did really well. I think he qualified 17th and he finished 4th. I don't know. I think Ick's finished, I don't know where he finished, maybe 5th, maybe.
He did. He finished 5th. Yeah, he finished 5th. They're both 1 lap behind, but somehow Merzario finished ahead of him.
Yes, so that's what I thought. He finished ahead of his teammate who qualified 3rd. Merzario, and I think this is the only time I could actually give points to a Ferrari in this season. So I thought I'd go for it. And yes, then I did give it to Stewart 2nd and Fittipaldi 3rd, pretty much for what you guys said. Same thing, great win at home. And yes, Stewart had a great start, started 9th and he was already up to 3rd after the first lap or whatever. So yeah, good start by him.
Yeah. And Rosa, just calling you out in a good way, like you called me out for not putting Stewart in mine. You didn't put your favourite driver, Holm, up there.
I didn't.
Yeah,
no, but
so
I said the same as you. He qualified 5th and he finished 3rd, and I went, I don't know. I didn't think it was that big a deal. And like Peterson retired, so I don't know. Did he really do that much? I don't think.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just like impressed that you broke the Holm spell a little bit.
I did. Yeah. I found someone better to give it my points to.
So, Rosa, could you give us the 10 seconds on why Holm is your favourite?
I just think he's really, really consistent. Luigi has like this thing about him being really boring and he just does enough to win races. Well, he doesn't win championships. He's won a championship. I don't know. I just think consistency is key sometimes in Formula One. And he's just consistent. He's consistently up there. He doesn't take great risks, but he knows when to take a risk. And I just like his attitude on the track, I guess. So there you go.
Not very compelling, is it, Dad?
Look, we all like a consistent person, don't we? So
it is reliable, he's reliable. I think Brabham counted on him. He's whichever team he's in, he just does his job very well. So I think that's commendable. Okay, so after 2 races, we have Fittipaldi in the lead on 46 and Stewart is 20 points behind on 26 and Sever is on 20 and Paul Holm, he's only on 8. So, yeah, that's looking good for Fittipaldi, having won the first 2 races.
Pretty good defence for his championship.
Yes. All right, we're doing race 3. We're in South Africa. In practice, Stewart was going faster and faster until he suffered a dramatic brake failure and spun backwards through 3 layers of chain link fence. He was unhurt, so his biggest grief came from being unable to defend his time. With the first 13 drivers separated by less than a second, Stewart was relegated to the 16th place on the grid. Holm in the McLaren achieved pole position. And I think, Louis, we said this was Holm's first pole position ever in his career.
Yeah, he started in 65.
Yeah.
He gets his first pole position in 73.
That's right. Ahead of Fittipaldi and local driver Jody Scheckter, also in the McLaren. The start of the race was rather calm, but on lap 3, Regazzoni crashed into a stationary Hailwood. Both cars burst into flames and Regazzoni was unconscious. Hailwood did not hesitate to rescue him and managed to release the Swiss driver's seatbelts. His overalls caught on fire, so he turned to a marshal with a fire extinguisher and then continued to drag Regazzoni from the wrecked BRM. Meanwhile, leader Holm had to pit twice with punctures, but Stewart was performing a miraculous recovery drive. He was up to 6th place on lap 6 and was leading the race on lap 7. American driver Peter Revson in his McLaren overtook Fittipaldi for 2nd place and managed to stay there. Scheckter retired with just 4 laps to go. At least 3 drivers reported Stewart for overtaking under yellow flags, and McLaren's team boss also filed the official protest. The stewards handed Stewart a severe reprimand, but the race results were upheld, I think 2 days later, Louis. I think they took 2 days to do that. So, yeah, a bit of controversy there surrounding Mr. Jackie Stewart. Yes, so Dan, what do you reckon?
For me, I gave, Rosie, your favourite Holm, 3rd. Yeah, credit for a podium. He had issues to deal with twice, having to pick his punches. So, yeah, it was a really crazy race overall, but I thought he deserved at least 3rd for getting that result. 2nd, I gave to Stewart. Look, I could have almost relegated him to 3rd. I gave him 2nd, I guess because he got the win, but I relegated him to 2nd because it sounded like he did some dodgy passing, which I'm not a fan of. It sounds like he actually, he really did do it. It wasn't just, some other team.
Do you reckon he did, Dan? I don't know.
It says he got a severe reprimand, so it feels like he did actually do it, and just maybe tell him off, don't do it again, otherwise we really will penalise you. So it sounds like he actually did. He got to keep the win, but yeah, I can't give him the win for that.
Wow. Okay.
That's not cool. And in first, I gave it to Hailwood. I thought he showed heroic courage. You got someone else is, basically possibly going to die. They're in a car and you're risking your life to go and save them. And look, these guys can't go racing if they don't have, that sort of attitude that, look, if someone's life's on the line, I'll get out of my car to try to save you. And, it's that perfect blend of them putting their lives on the line like they really were, not so much these days because the cars are so safe and all the barriers and everything are so safe. Back then they weren't, and they really were putting their lives on the line.
So the last time a driver had that kind of die. Yeah. So the last time in our day that a driver had that kind of accident was Grosjean, wasn't it? Where he smashed his car and it burst into flames on the barriers there. What race was that?
And he would have died for sure. If we didn't have the halo, like if there wasn't a halo, I mean, his head would have come straight off of his shoulders. yeah, back then, that sort of situation, what Hayward did was, was heroic in my view, and deserves the top points for the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
No arguments.
Okay. My top three is the same, but there is some difference in opinion on the Stewart thing. But I'll say quickly, on Holm, I had in third. First pole position of his career and was leading until his first puncture. So he was unlucky in that regard. And he did come back to finish, let me just check, fifth?
Fourth.
No, I wrote fourth, but I'm just looking at the results. It was fifth.
Oh.
Yeah,
was
he was
it?
fifth. He was fifth 2 laps down, but that's because of the multiple punctures that he had.
Yeah,
And
okay.
also acknowledging that he's old. So he did well for being old. I put Stewart in
Important
second.
fact there, old. Right, yep, noted.
Yeah. Yeah, Stewart I put in second because he did an amazing recovery drive by lap 6 to then dominate the race. And Rosa and I in the race review, we questioned whether he did actually pass under yellow flag or was it subjective. And in those times, it's hard to tell. Dan's right. A reprimand means they were probably convinced of it. But he did win the race by over 24 seconds. And I suspect that he didn't need those yellow flags. It was incidental, is my argument. But I still put him in second and Hayward first for the same reasons Dan said. I don't need to explain the same reasons, but Hayward first.
I went a bit different on this one. I put Revson third. I thought he did well to overtake Fittipaldi and grab second place. He's outperformed his teammate Holm, although, he did have some issues. I've put Holm second. I thought he got his pole position after, what did you say, Luigi, 8 years or something? And a great recovery drive from those 2 punctures. And I actually didn't go for Hayward because, I don't know. I don't normally do those sorts of tips. So I didn't start this year, although I'm kind of regretting it. But yeah, I've put Stewart first, which surprises me because Dan did actually, have some good reasons why a reprimand actually means he's guilty of as charged.
But he won by a lot of point seconds. So.
But it's also what I know of Stewart's character. I don't know that he would have done it on purpose. Like, he's not one of those guys that would do anything to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was pretty.
I agree. But the fact is, if the ball's out and, the the linesman there are saying it's out, but it's played as in, the fact is I just take it as still being out. But I also respect that, they still gave him the win.
They did, yes.
So I can totally understand you also giving him the win.
All right. So after that race, we've got Fittipaldi and Stewart equal first on 46 points, Holm in third on 22, and Sever on 20 points in fourth place.
And didn't Stewart catch up quick?
He did.
He was 20 points behind 1 second ago, and now it's like equal. So, yeah. Okay. We're up to the fourth race of the season, the Spanish Grand Prix. So Peterson qualified on pole position ahead of Holm in the McLaren and Stewart. Stewart and Fittipaldi started 4th and 7th, respectively. Around a quarter distance mark, Holm and Stewart had to pit with damage, and Peterson at the front achieved a comfortable lead at this stage. Later in the race on lap 55, however, Peterson's gearbox failed and his Lotus ground to a halt. Stewart retired with brake problems, and Fittipaldi endured a slow puncture. Reutemann, it's a lot happening here. Reutemann in the BRM, smelling a sudden victory, was chasing down Fittipaldi until his drive shaft failed. So Fittipaldi held on to victory, albeit lucky I'm saying, ahead of Stewart for Tyrrell and Fulmer in the shadow. Yes, and we talk about Fulmer in the race review.
Yes, and shadow.
So Dan, your top 3 and why?
Yeah, so I gave Sever third because he got second despite the car damage that he picked up. Now, this was maybe it was a fairly typical race of the period, where you have this sort of attrition, car damage, gearbox failures, things like that, punctures. But Sever, I thought he did a really solid race, especially given the car damage. Fulmer, I just had to assume he outperformed the car.
Yes,
he's in a
100%.
shadow. So, I mean, like, probably don't need to explain it any more than that.
No.
And yeah, Fittipaldi, I gave him the win. I did feel like he was lucky, given everyone else seemed to have car problems and he didn't. And so, look, he just went and picked up, what was probably a fairly comfortable victory. But it's not his fault that he didn't have car problems, but I felt like I still had to give him the win.
Yeah, and he won by a big margin. It was like 40 seconds or something as well. No, I wish I'd put Fulmer in mine because I didn't, and I regret that now. So I had Stewart in third, and I thought it was a gallant drive to second place despite 2 punctures. Fittipaldi, I had him in second place because I felt it was a relentless drive to win, but he should have come second because I think it was Peterson that really should have won because I think he got pole position, was leading the race, and I felt like he was let down by the car.
Yes. Well, Louis, I don't know if I'm starting to think like you or you're starting to think like me because I've got exactly the same tips as yours. So, but I totally agree. Stewart, great second given the issues he had. Fittipaldi, determined drive to win. And yeah, Peterson, I thought he had this one. I know he led early on and when did he retire? He retired on lap 55. How many laps is this race? I don't know. I think it's 70 something, isn't it? 74 or something. Like
75 laps. I'm trying to look up the lap he retired, but you keep going.
Yeah. I think he retired on lap 66 actually. So I thought he would have won it if he hadn't had that gearbox failure. So I'm giving it to Peterson as well. So yeah. I like to think that you're starting to think like me.
Yeah, we had the same top 3.
Yeah, we're the same. We're the same.
That doesn't happen too often, but there you go.
No, there you
No.
Yeah, so after this race, 4, we have Fittipaldi again in the lead by 20 points on 66 over Stewart, who's on 46, and Sever is on 32.
Okay. One more race, Rosa?
5. Yeah, we'll do one more. Okay. So we're in Belgium now. So the Belgian Grand Prix was being held at Circuit Zolder for the first time due to Spa needing some safety upgrades. The track was prepared for the event too late, and after an hour of practice, the drivers' union, the GPDA, were threatening with a strike action, complaining that the tarmac was breaking up. After a quick resurfacing job on Friday evening, the track held together during Saturday practice, but now was very slippery, and there was a lot of sand off the racing line. Peterson qualified his Lotus on pole position and held the lead at the start, but was passed by 4th starting Sever on the second lap. Stewart in the Tyrrell and Fittipaldi in the Lotus has started in 6th and 9th respectively, but quickly charged through the field. After Sever spun off on lap 20 and rejoined in 8th, they were fighting for the lead, with Stewart coming out on top. When Fittipaldi had to slow with fuel pressure problems, he had to settle for 3rd, while Sever recovered to 2nd position. A lot happening in that race too. Over to you, Dan. Sorry, Louis, what was that?
Just reminding everyone that Stewart won the race because I know you said Stewart coming out on top. I thought it just there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Yes, Stewart won the race. Yep.
Well, I put Sever as 3rd. I thought he only deserved 3rd rather than 2nd just because of, well, frankly, Fittipaldi's problems. There was no way Sever was going to be getting 2nd without that. And
yes.
So I put Fittipaldi at 2nd because he had 2nd locked in. He was definitely the better driver on the day. And then Stewart, I felt like he made a really nice recovery. I mean, obviously he won the race, as he said, but he had an average qualifying, which, I mean, that's fine. But I mean, what counts the most is obviously the race, and he delivered in the race. And so, yeah, I feel like that was the great Jackie Stewart doing his thing.
Yes, a very typical Jackie Stewart race, I think.
Yeah. And so, I've got no... So we haven't had any real arguments on our picks other than a bit of fun, have we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got Fittipaldi in 3rd. I felt like he still came 3rd despite fuel pump power issues. So I saw it as the other way around. He did come 3rd, which was impressive. And I put Sever. I did the podium. Yeah.
Oh, Louis.
Boring. I did boring. I had Stewart in second because I felt like he did have a great start and he pulled away. And then he had a recovery drive back up to second after a brake failure. So not sure about what that brake failure was, but I'm saying he recovered up to second. And everyone was juggling their issues except Stewart, who just had what I called a champion solid drive. He didn't seem to have issues like everyone else. So I could see how Fittipaldi could be put ahead of Stewart without any issues.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with Dan more.
I can sleep easy at night with Stewart in second and Fittipaldi in third.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says a lot about your ethics there, Luigi. I agree with Dan. I think Fittipaldi would have come second had it not been for that fuel pressure issue. Like, it wasn't even like he was running out of fuel. It wasn't a driver error. It was a car issue that stopped him from coming second. I agree. I don't think Stewart would have passed him if he hadn't had problems. So, and you had to put Stewart first. Great drive for the win from ninth. And he battled with Fittipaldi on the way through and he beat him, which, last year, Louis, he didn't beat Fittipaldi in those battles. Fittipaldi beat him all the time. So he obviously knew what he had to do to beat him in those battles, one-on-one battles. So, yeah, you had to put him first. Yeah. All right. So we're after race 5. So what's that, a third of the season through? We've got Fittipaldi in the lead on 82 points, Stewart second on 70 points, and Sever third on 46 points. And we might leave it there and come back for part 2. What do you reckon?
Sounds good. Could be part 3 too. We'll see how we go.
It could be a 3-parter. Yeah. Or we could do another one, or do you want to stop it there?
We'll stop it there, yeah.
All right. Okay. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.